What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Kind of Funny Reacts from E3 2016. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
It's good to be here with you today.
It's good to be here with you today. Colin?
Yes.
For the second year in a row, you've gone behind closed doors to see Horizon Zero Dawn. What'd they show?
Not only to do that, I played it. I want to just say it here, and I don't think this is. I'm not going to call this a Colin was right moment when it inevitably happens because it's so obvious. This game is going to be extraordinarily good.
Yeah.
And it is going to. I think this game is going to blow people away, and it's just obvious when you see it. Like that Sony has something, and I was talking to some of the people at Gorilla. You know, I was talking to Angie, and we mentioned it to Herman yesterday. And you know, I was talking to the writer of the game. You have something very special on your hands with this game, and I do believe, as I've said many times now in the past few weeks, this is going to be their next big IP if this is executed properly, and I think it's going to be. They showed a part of the game that they showed during the demo on the press conference, but they showed things that are happening before it. Okay. And then they went through the quest in kind of an alternate way. So the big takeaway, I'm not getting too much into the gameplay minutia because we saw them like ransack the creature with the bin on his back
Anchor him to the ground,
and like use reprogram the mount and all that. So we saw all that. But the cool thing is that we went to a village and we saw the structure of
where people like
where
NPCs?
people where people live.
Oh, okay.
And we took a quest, and there were a bunch of side quests, and we bought armor and weapons, and we did like all these.
How'd
kinds
you get
of
the
things.
side quest? Exclamation mark somebody's head, a board.
So there's from a person.
Okay.
So we walk into this village. It's surrounded by, first of all, outside. This is really cool. So outside this village is a massive, like the creature they fought in the last year's demo. Killed outside of it.
Oh, nice.
And it's corrupted, and we'll get into what that means in a minute. And there's just spears and arrows sticking out of it. It's corpses there, and everyone's like standing around. And you walk into this village, they're like screaming like, "Oh, Hunter's back!" Like, open the gates. They open these big wooden gates. You go into this village. You talk to the female leader of the village, and she thanks you for doing something else for her. And then she has another quest for you.
Gotcha.
There are dialogue trees, and you can inquire about things that are going on. I don't know that there's choices, but there are trees. So like you can be like, what's going on here? And why does this matter? And this, that, and then goodbye.
They showed a little bit during the thing. Yeah,
right.
Being able to pop out. Yeah.
So we accept this quest from this woman. She wants us to go check on the village. So this other village that they haven't heard from in 2 days. That's the quest that we see in the demo. And then we kind of peel off. So there's like a little, I think it's like a yellow icon like on your HUD, or it's not really a HUD, but like on your screen if you point in the right direction, it'll be right ahead of you. And then there are these little blue icons around the village, and you can like go talk to people and take side quests that are of an unknown nature. We went to a merchant who has his own problems because like he's talking to you about how sales are slow, and you can kind of chat him up or whatever, and then you can buy weapons and components and armor, and they go into the currency system and how things cost a certain amount of currency, and that there are multiple kinds of currency. So something might cost like, I forget what the name of the currency is, but there's like a major kind of currency, like a coin, but it's not a coin. Like something can cost 90 coins, plus you need 2 of these things from this monster or this machine to buy it. And so we kind of stacked up and figured out what we needed to buy, and then we went on the quest that we saw before, and I won't go into that at all. But the cool thing about this is talking to the writer, who I think his name is John Rodriguez. I could be wrong on that. And I'm sorry if you're watching this and I am wrong about your name. You're a very nice man. The way he talked about the game, by the way, was really pretty extraordinary, and just like some of these guys just really are good at talking about their games. And he was one of them. They kind of go into this mythos, this lore about the world, and we already know a little bit about it, but we don't know everything about it. So they call us the old ones, the people that lived on Earth before it all went down. You've seen shots of like the crumbling cities and all these kinds of things, and it's thousands of years in the past. They don't really know how they got to this point, and these machines are of an unknown origin, and they seem to self-replicate. But they interact with them in like very cursory ways, but they don't quite understand how they work. And everything's actually peaceful for a really long time until 20 years before the game starts. And the robots, like the robotic creatures, like rarely ever attacked anyone. They like they actually live still in harmony, in relative harmony with biology, with organic creatures. Sure. So like there are rabbits and all these kinds of things alongside these big robotic creatures. And about 20 years before the game starts, some of them start getting corrupted, and no one knows like what that means. And these mysterious machines start appearing that are corrupting the enemies, and you see that in the demo. And so the story is at least partially about like what are these corrupting agents and like why is it happening and what's going on. And it seems to have something to do not only with the origins of Aloy, who's the main character, the female character with the red hair, but also perhaps about what happened to humanity or where these machines come from, or, and all this kind of. So this is what's so intriguing about the game to me is not only the gameplay, and we'll get into that in a minute because the game's fucking awesome to play. It feels just right.
Yeah.
But also that there's a deep narrative hook to this game that's not just that seems to be way more intriguing than the Fallouts or the Witchers or whatever, like where, and I'm not disparaging those stories, but like this is a really weird juxtaposition of themes and stuff like that make me like, where the fuck are these machines coming from? Like, how do they not know?
Yeah.
Are we like, and what I got excited about when I was watching them play and then I played myself was, are we going to get to a point where we come across these massive factories or something of these creatures? Are we going to come to like,
so, yeah.
like, and that's so exciting because when you look at like the land as it is, it's like lush and green and overgrown and left to nature. And
there's a part in the trailer they put out with E3 or right before where she walks up to a door and it opens and it's like blinding white light. And I assumed that is the thing where she's been working her way, heard about this, did whatever, and goes down into this place and opens up and you're going to open up and it's going to be a pristine factory. Not overgrown, totally like robotic. Maybe even have humans in there that are like people who've been captured and made to work.
I think that's what's so exciting about it. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
But as far as the game, so they brought us to kiosks and they let us play, and we can play really as long as you wanted it seemed. But I played for maybe a half an hour.
Okay.
And they wouldn't let you do any quests, and they wouldn't even let you go into the menus. So like if you press the touchpad,
they fired you.
So if you hold your finger lightly over the touchpad, everything that you needed to do came up on the left screen. If you pressed it, that's supposed to bring you the menus, but it would say like you're not allowed to go to the menus.
Get out of here.
So you can't go to the but we've seen the menu things before. There's quests and you can craft and you can look at the map and everything. We couldn't even look at the map.
Yeah.
And basically they just gave you a list of like random tasks that are probably not even in the game, like kill this enemy and figure this thing out and all these things. So I started kind of going about some of that, and I kind of just started running around generally.
Yeah.
The game feels fluid. It's very arcadey. You can jump, which I thought was, I know that's not a big deal maybe to some people, but in a third-person action game, that's not super common when you really think about it. Like you can leap.
It's certain instances like Uncharted where it's driving you to jump up a wall or jump over anything.
And she can scale things like Drake does, but like, yeah, she can also jump over enemy attacks and like jump back and like, and do all those kinds of things. So if you hold down, and I think I'm remembering the buttons correctly, if you hold down L1, it brings up your weapon wheel, it slows time down a little bit. And you can like select arrows and ropes and bombs and all these kinds of things that you can buy or you can craft. R1 is like a melee attack. R2 is like a heavy melee attack. And then you can aim, I think, with L2 and then shoot with R2 your arrow or throw your spear. So I think that's the right button combination. X is jump. And R3 is a really interesting button, and you saw that's how you scan enemies and you figure out their weaknesses. And the weaknesses could be different depending on the parts of their bodies. So you can like scan the holders that hold the containers to those big robots and figure out what you need to do to destroy those as opposed to destroying the entire monster or the entire robot. So the game just felt very fluid and very fun. The world is lush. The game was running very well. There's a lot of destructible environments as we saw in the trailer or in the gameplay demo. And it's just, there's just a lot of different ways to go about things. I really do think that this game is special. Like I'll be so surprised if this game isn't anything short of what I think it's going to be, which I think is going to be a really, really massive game.
Yeah.
If they market it right and if it's got that critical reception and stuff. But the PlayStation audience is pretty tuned in, and I think they're going to like it. So certainly a game to keep an eye on. And what's so fascinating about this game, about Detroit and about God of War and about Days Gone is it's just like these are all really very exciting games, but they're all... well, three of them really are third-person action games, action shooters or action-adventure games. Detroit's obviously its own kind of, David Cage thing.
Yeah.
So they are definitely...
Its own genre of David Cage.
They are going down this very specific road, but I think there's much to be excited about here. I really do implore people to... I think a lot of people already know, but, to just keep an eye on it.
I think people know to keep an eye on it.
And, they, as we talked to Herman, they just needed a little bit more time. The game was supposed to come out in the fall. They need about 3 or 4 more months. The game's going to come out February 28th, and so 2 weeks after Persona. Not great timing for people, especially for a game that long. But I do think that you have something robust, something big here, something the team seems really passionate and excited about. You can see a little bit of trepidation when you look at some of the leaders there about like this is unfamiliar territory.
Sure.
They really have.
Talking to Herman about it, right? That's one of the things they like flocked to it and why they did it. They wanted to be out there and try and create and try new things. And it looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
What do you think of Horizon Zero Dawn, ladies and gentlemen? Let us know in the comments. Share the video with your friends. And, of course, subscribe to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames because we're here at E3 2016 churning out all sorts of videos for you right now. Bye.